So now you're going to want to have 4 separate timers opened up, and you're going to want to start the timer as soon as I finish pouring in that particular beaker. So I'm going to start with the 2 centimeter beaker here, and what I'm pouring in is 1 molar hydrochloric acid. Just enough to cover. Alright, so that one's not quite covered. Now we're covered, I believe. Yeah, it's just floating. Okay. That's the 1 centimeter cube. This is the 1/2 centimeter cube. And this is the 0.2 centimeter cube. So there we go. We're going to let that go here. You're going to hear me teaching class in the background while this runs because I've got this set up right before class starts here on Tuesday morning with my early bird class. So we've got two cubes that are completely changed to yellow. We've got the 0.2 and 0.5 centimeter cubes. We're still waiting on the 1 and 2 centimeter cubes here. Good morning. See, it is 7 a.m., but we don't have everybody just quite yet, so gonna wait just a minute because today we are gonna take a look at two pretty important things. One, we're gonna look at you guys are gonna be running a campaign to get an organelle elected president of a cell as the most important organelle. So we're gonna take a look at that assignment. You guys are gonna be working in partners on this one. And then after that, we're going to do another cell lab after we introduce this project, and I'll let you know who you're working with and what organelle you're going to have. Normally I have you pick your organelle out of a hat, but I could not quite do that this time. So let's see, there's William. So we are waiting on, and there's April. Let's see, I think. Let's see here. Okay, so we are waiting on 17 in here. Well, that's weird. All right. All right. So who are we missing right now? We're missing Basuda and Sonu and Jacob. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started here, and when they join, we can clue them in here. All right. First thing here that I want to do is see how you guys are doing. What's going on this morning? You guys okay? Yeah? All right, good. It's early. It's getting harder to get up in the morning because it's darker later into the morning, so I know it's getting a little more challenging to wake up. Could be why we've got a few people running a little later than normal here this morning. So the first thing I wanted to do was introduce the campaign for an organelle that you guys are going to run here. Normally, we would be doing this in class and groups. You guys would be putting up flyers for your organelle around the room. We'd have huge campaign posters set up around the room, hanging wherever. And obviously, we can't do that this year. So I'm going to share my screen here with you. And we're going to take a look at this. So we're going to take a look at this. Make sure I can see all your shiny, happy faces this morning. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay. So you're going to elect an organelle, try to get an organelle elected president of the cell. All right. So you guys, this kind of just introduce what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to show us how important your organelle is to the functioning of our country in order to select a winner here. A little background information. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to actually be working on creating a Google slide presentation. So you're going to take this presentation, make a copy of it, and on some of these slides you're going to delete what I have, and put your own content in there, okay? So for example, on this slide, you're going to tell me about your assigned cell part and be thorough. What's its role? Where is it found? Cytoplasm, nucleus, outside of the cell. Explain its structure. What is it made of? What is it? What are the parts that make it up? How are they organized? Is it part of the endomembrane system? That is something that's probably new to you that you can read about in the hang on a second. That you can read about in the textbook. What kinds of cells? What kinds of cells? What kinds of cells is it found in? Prokaryotic, eukaryotic, or both? Animal or plant, or both? You can read about it in your text. You can find videos about it, but make sure the videos are from reputable sources, not some kook on the internet that just put something up there, because we know there are plenty of those out on the internet. Add a picture of your organelle to the slide, maybe a picture of where it is within the cell, and maybe a picture that is more specific just of the organelle, labeling some of the parts of the organelle. Show your expertise here. You can delete these instructions and replace them with your information. If you need to add a slide or two about your organelle, you can go ahead and do that. All right. So now, you're going to create kind of a little bit of a profile of your candidate. A selfie. Okay, all right, of your organelle, right? If you want to come up with a theme song for your organelle, you can find a theme song that seems to fit your organelle, right? Like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Maybe you can find a song that kind of fits with what the mitochondria does. Your home, where are you in the cell? Why is it important that that's where you are? What is your slogan, right? Every good campaign has a good slogan. Every good campaign runs a social media portion, and so you can come up with a Twitter hashtag for your organelle and run a social media campaign. What is your platform? What will you do to keep the cell thriving? Think about your structure and function when it goes to that. Do you have any secrets that you should make everybody aware of? Are you associated with any problems? And then, who would your running mate be? Who are you most compatible with within the cell? So these, again, can each be a separate slide within your presentation. I will say that this is a project I've done since like 2012, and as a result of this project kind of got pretty big for a while, and I would have, and we'll see, it might happen this year, I would have scientists from Twitter interacting with my students. I have scientists from England, from France, from Canada, from all over the United States interacting with my students. I had one scientist who studies the Golgi apparatus was searching for information on the Golgi apparatus on Twitter and came across a Golgi apparatus Twitter account, and she started interacting with the Twitter account, which happened to be one of my students. And at first I kind of freaked out a little bit, but then it turned out that she was not some just weird rando, but actually knew something about the Golgi, was an expert. And so all these scientists started tweeting with my kids, started correcting them if they were putting out misleading information about organelles, and having fun with them. We were talked about on a radio show on the BBC network. I've written a couple of articles about the project for different journals, and I've presented it to national conferences about this project. One of them I got to present. You guys know who the Bozeman Science, the Bozeman biology guy? You guys remember Paul Anderson? One time I got to present with him, which was pretty cool, talking about using social media in the classroom. So this Twitter portion of the project actually turns out should be pretty fun. All right, so you're going to design a campaign poster that should entice the public to vote for you, right? It should be very visual, it should be colorful, it can be hand-drawn or digital. I would like you to create it though. If you make it digitally, don't just like copy and paste a picture off the internet and say, here's my campaign poster. So here's an example of one. You can see they've got their slogan on there. It's very colorful. So that is one thing you're going to do. You're also going to run a social media campaign, right? You can follow with, once you create the Twitter account for your organelle, follow my Twitter account with your organelle so I can follow your organelle's Twitter account back, so I can see what you tweet, what you retweet, and who you interact with, okay? Yeah, today is, for homecoming week, today was like dress up like a social media influencer, and I was texting with Mr. Craddock last night. I was like, yeah, like I know who any social media influencers are, or what they dress like. I'm too old to know. He's like, well, you know, your Twitter account has over 1,000 followers. Why don't you just go as yourself? I was like, okay, all right, I'll do that. So, that's I'm dressed like me today. Whenever you write tweets for your organelle, use this hashtag here. That's the hashtag we've been using with this project for a long time, and that's what tends to get some of the scientists who've been part of this project before to notice it and start tweeting my students. All right, then this is kind of the fun part of the project. You got to do some mudslinging. You got to run a smear campaign against some other organelles. Okay, now the smear campaign needs to be based in fact. Okay, you can't just make up some random negative things about your opponents and put them out there like they're fact. Okay, that might be how politics in America work, but it is not how this campaign is going to work. If you mudsling or smear somebody else, then what you need to make sure that you cite your source with the information that you are citing that is negative about one of your opponents. Okay. Again, you can make your mudslinging smear a slide in your presentation. You can make it a tweet from your Twitter account. You could maybe even post it on the Schoology in the update section. There's a lot of different ways that you could post your smear campaigns. And then finally, you're going to have to give a campaign speech. And so what we're going to do, I think, is that your campaign speech should be a total of like 3 to 5 minutes. And you can make a video of your campaign speech. You're going to be working with one other person. We have one group of 3 since we have 17 people in here, but everybody else is in groups of 2. Each person should give part of the campaign speech, right? So, in your campaign speech, you're going to tell us why you're important, what your structure is, how it relates to your function, how you're going to help the cell country here if you were to get elected, and you're going to also, that would be a time where you could do your mudslinging and smearing again of the other organelles that you're running against. So you can do separate slides for each part of your speech. If the 2 of you want to do the 2 parts separately, you could also record your parts and use iMovie to put them into one single video and then post that here. Okay, so that is what you're going to make sure that you do for your presentation. I made this a view only, so you're going to have to make a copy of this presentation for you and your partner. Okay. So, what I've got here, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms to give you a chance to see who's in your group. So I need to open up the breakout rooms here, and hopefully they show up here somewhere. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm gonna come into each room and tell you what your organelle is. Okay, so first room is hang on just a second. Okay, give me a second. Let me put you in your rooms, and then I will make that available. Okay, but I can only do one thing at a time here. All right. the room so you guys can go there. I will make the slide available to you. Hello. How we doing? Good, good. All right, so your group stayed the same. You're our one group of three. All right, and your group has the smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so both types of endoplasmic reticulum. So you guys can start talking about the project a little bit while I go check in on the other rooms and let them know, okay? All right. Hello. How's it going? Yeah. Okay. When you go to File, it doesn't say make a copy. Okay. Vasuda, have you tried? Okay. All right. So your organelle, you guys are going to have, your main organelle is the cytoskeleton. Okay. But you also need to talk within your presentation. These are some elements that the cytoskeleton forms. So there are centrosomes. You're probably going to want to write this down. Okay. Centrosomes, centrioles, cilia, C-I-L-I-A, and flagella. Yeah, cytoskeleton, centrosomes, centrioles, cilia, and flagella. All right, yep. You're welcome. I'm going to go join another room now, let them know what they've got. Okay? Yep. You. What's up? What's up, boys? How we doing? Good, good. All right. Hopefully this group will work for you too. So you have ribosomes is your main one, and then I also want you to talk about another organelle called the proteasome, which is P-R-O-T-E-A. Yep, P-R-O-T-E-A S-O-M-E. That's the proteasome. So the ribosome is your main one. All right, and then just talk a little bit about the proteasome. All right. So, all right, how'd the Milwaukee School of Engineering go? Oh, that was quick. All right, all right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh, okay. Okay. So, okay. All right. Excellent. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. All right. I've got to run to another room here. Let them know what they've got. Okay. All right. Yep. Yeah. how's it going, boys? Good. Okay, all right, excellent. Well, here's your main organelle is going to be the cell wall. Okay, but I also want you to talk about, there's something called intercellular junctions. There's some of them are in plants, some of them are in animal cells, so you need to make sure you talk about both what's found in plant cells and animal cells. And then also the extracellular matrix. So I don't know if either of you took anatomy last year or are taking it this year, but that would be something you would have learned about in anatomy, the extracellular matrix, but if not, you'll be learning about it this year. All right? Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to go join another room here and let them know what they've got, all right? Okay. Hey there, morning. How we doing? Good. All right, you two have the mitochondria. All right, so that is your organelle. You should be plenty of information on that. You might just have to fend off a few more smear attacks than others because you might be an easy target or a target that people go after because they think you might have a better chance of winning. So just be prepared to defend yourselves. Okay? All right, moving to the next room, let them know what they got. Okay? All right. Hey, how's it going? Good. All right, so you have the Golgi apparatus. All right. Also, you'll find it called the Golgi complex or the Golgi bodies. Any of those are, it's all the same thing when you're doing your research, okay? And then secondarily, I want you to talk about the lysosome also. Yep. Okay? All right, excellent. All right, I have two more rooms. I got to let them know what they're doing. So I'm going to run and grab those, and we'll start our lab for today. Okay? All right. Hello, how's it going? I'm good. I'm good. Is this group going to work? Will this be okay? Okay. All right. All right. So you two are doing the nucleus and nucleolus. So there should be plenty of information on there. It should be easy to run a campaign. The only thing that usually happens is the nucleus tends to get smeared quite a bit by the other groups who see it as an easy target and like somebody who's likely to win an election campaign is the most important thing in the South, so they feel the need to kind of cut it down quite a bit. So just FYI, yeah. Oh, awesome, I'm getting your internet connection is unstable message here at school. Great. Okay. Yeah. That's going to be awesome if the internet crashes here at school. All right. So I'm going to run into one more room here, okay? All right. Hello. How we doing? Okay. I'm good. I'm good. So your your group has plastids. Okay, and there's a lot. These are in plants. There's a lot of different plastids. The one I want you to focus on are the chloroplasts. Okay, the chloroplasts are the main one, but there are many others. There's amyloplasts. There's leucoplasts. There's all kinds of other plastids. There's chromoplasts. There's all kinds of other plastids. So I want you to focus on the chloroplast, but also discuss the other ones as well. All right? Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump out of here and close all the breakout rooms, okay? All right. You got a question? We'll talk talk about that. It won't be due next week. It'll be due the week after, probably the Tuesday of the week after. Next week is all screwy because we've got Monday off, Columbus Day, Friday's off with Institute Day. On my A day is Wednesday, but a lot of seniors are taking the SAT test on Wednesday, so I won't really see my A kids next week. So probably the Tuesday of the week after. And then next week, Thursday, will just be a work day for your project. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave the room here, and I'll be right back. I'm closing the meeting, closing the breakout rooms out. All right, at this point now, the 1 centimeter cube is all done, and the 2 centimeter cube still has to be finished. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move these other ones out of the way, and I'm going to have you estimate how much of the 2 centimeter cube has completed its journey to being completely yellow. And what you'll do then is try to extrapolate and predict how much longer the cube would have to go to finish that off. Okay, so maybe if I move this, if I move my iPad, you'll be able to see a little bit better. Let me get it out of here. And we're just going to move the video so that you can see from the side, hopefully. Also, in addition to the top. All right. So there you go. So I'm going to stop the video now.